When you wake up in the morning, your body is not starting from zero. It is coming out of a long overnight fast where water has been slowly leaving your system through breathing, sweating and basic metabolism. And this is why blood is naturally thicker in the morning than at any other time of the day. Thicker blood flows more slowly, and slow-moving blood increases the chances of tiny clots forming or existing clots becoming more stubborn. This is why the very first thing you do after opening your eyes quietly matters more than people realize. Reaching for your phone or coffee feels normal, but your blood at that moment is asking for something far simpler. It is asking for water. Real hydration first thing in the morning acts like a gentle thinning agent for your blood. It increases plasma volume, improves circulation, and helps your heart push blood smoothly through arteries and veins instead of forcing it through a thick, sluggish flow. Drinking one full glass of water within the first 10 minutes of waking can already improve circulation before you even stand up properly. Many people think they drink enough water during the day, and morning hydration does not matter. But the timing is what makes it powerful. Morning hydration corrects overnight thickening before damage has time to accumulate. And over weeks and months, this simple habit trains the circulatory system to start each day in a healthier state. Adding a small squeeze of lemon can support this process even more. Lemon provides vitamin C, which helps protect the lining of blood vessels and supports flexibility in artery walls. Healthier vessel walls allow blood to glide instead of scrape, which reduces clot-friendly friction inside the arteries. Some people also add a small amount of apple cider vinegar, which may help circulation and insulin sensitivity, indirectly lowering inflammation that contributes to clot formation. The goal is not to create a harsh drink, but a gentle signal to your body that the flow needs to start. It is also important to avoid drinking ice, cold water first thing in the morning. Extremely cold water can cause temporary constriction of blood vessels, which is the opposite of what you want. Room temperature or slightly warm water encourages vessels to relax and expand, making blood movement smoother and easier. This habit becomes even more important for older adults, people with high blood pressure, or anyone who spends long hours sitting during the day. Dehydration does not always feel like thirst, and by the time thirst appears, blood may already be more concentrated than ideal. Morning water works preventively rather than reactively. Over time, many people notice fewer morning headaches, less dizziness when standing up, and better energy because the brain receives improved blood flow early in the day. Hydration first thing in the morning is not dramatic. It does not feel powerful in the moment, but it is one of the quiet habits that slowly changes how your blood behaves every single day, opening the internal flow before problems have a chance to settle in and grow. After your body has been gently rehydrated, the next thing your blood needs is movement, not intense exercise and not exhausting routines, but calm, purposeful motion that reminds your circulation it is time to wake up. During sleep, blood naturally pools in the legs because gravity and inactivity slow its return to the heart. When you wake up and remain seated or lying down for long periods, that pooled blood becomes sluggish, and sluggish blood creates an environment where clots are more likely to develop. This is why the first movements of the morning carry so much importance, even though they seem small. A slow walk around your room or outside, light stretching, or even marching gently in place activates the muscles in your calves and thighs. These muscles act like pumps that push blood upward through the veins, helping it return smoothly to the heart and lungs. Once blood starts moving upward, oxygen levels improve throughout the body and pressure in the veins decreases, which reduces stress on the circulatory system. Many people believe only hard workouts improve circulation, but in the early morning the body responds better to rhythm than intensity. Aggressive exercise can temporarily spike blood pressure and strain the heart, especially in older individuals or those with existing cardiovascular issues. Gentle movement works with your body instead of against it, Ankle circles, heel raises, or slow leg swings wake up blood flow without shocking the system. These movements also stimulate nitric oxide production, a natural compound that relaxes blood vessels and improves circulation. Relaxed vessels give blood more space to flow freely, making it harder for clots to stick or form. Another often ignored benefit of morning movement is how it stabilizes blood pressure. Many heart attacks and strokes occur in the morning due to sudden blood pressure surges after waking. Light movement reduces this surge by easing the transition from rest to activity. Over time, this habit trains the cardiovascular system to respond more smoothly each day. People who adopt morning movement often notice reduced leg swelling, fewer cramps, and less heaviness in the legs, all signs that venous blood is circulating more efficiently. This habit becomes especially protective for people who sit for long hours later in the day. Starting the morning with blood flow momentum makes it harder for blood to stagnate later, even if your schedule is busy. Just 5 to 10 minutes of movement can shift the entire tone of your circulation. The key is consistency rather than duration. When done daily, this simple habit lowers the long-term risk of deep vein clots and improves overall vascular health. Movement in the morning is not about fitness goals or calories. It is about reminding your blood that it was designed to flow, not to settle, and that reminder, repeated every morning, gradually creates a safer internal environment for your heart, veins, and brain. As your body wakes up physically, your nervous system is also deciding what kind of day it is about to create inside you. And this decision has a direct impact on your blood. Most people wake up and immediately flood their system with noise, urgency, and mental stress, checking messages, worrying about the day ahead, or rushing into tasks without pause. And this silent stress response tells the body that danger might be near. When the body senses danger, it releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which tighten blood vessels and make blood more likely to clot as a protective response. This reaction once helped humans survive injury, but in modern life it quietly increases the risk of unwanted clots, especially in the morning when blood is already thicker. This is where intentional breathing becomes one of the most underrated tools for circulation. Slow, controlled breathing immediately signals safety to the nervous system, telling the body there is no threat. When this signal is received, the body shifts into a state focused on repair, digestion, and smooth circulation. Deep breathing increases oxygen levels in the blood, and oxygen. Rich blood flows more easily than oxygen. Poor blood. It also stimulates the release of nitric oxide within blood vessels, which causes them to gently widen. Wider vessels reduce resistance, making it easier for blood to move without sticking or clumping. Shallow breathing does the opposite by limiting oxygen and keeping vessels slightly constricted. A simple breathing rhythm practiced for just a few minutes after waking can change this entire internal environment. Breathing slowly through the nose encourages deeper diaphragmatic movement, which also helps move blood and lymph through the chest cavity. Each deep breath creates gentle pressure changes that assist blood return to the heart. This effect is subtle but cumulative. Over weeks of daily practice, the circulatory system becomes more efficient at maintaining steady flow. Calm breathing also lowers morning heart rate and reduces sudden spikes in blood pressure, both of which are linked to higher clot risk. Many people notice that dizziness upon standing improves when breathing is controlled because blood pressure and circulation are better regulated. This habit is particularly valuable for people who experience anxiety, poor sleep, or chronic stress, as these conditions keep the body in a pro-clotting state for extended periods. By starting the day with calm breathing, you interrupt that pattern before it dominates the entire day. Breathing does not require equipment, supplements, or extra time. It only requires awareness, and that is what makes it so powerful. When practiced consistently, this habit reshapes how your nervous system and circulatory system interact, reducing inflammation, improving vessel flexibility, and creating a smooth, steady flow that leaves little opportunity for clots to form. Calm breath by calm breath, your body relearns how to move blood the way it was meant to move, with ease, rhythm, and balance. As the morning continues and your body becomes more alert, what you choose to eat or not eat quietly shapes how your blood behaves for hours ahead. Breakfast is not just fuel, it is a chemical instruction sent directly into your bloodstream. Many people unknowingly begin their day with foods that make blood thicker and more inflammatory: sugary cereals, white bread, pastries, sweetened drinks. All of these cause a rapid rise in blood sugar. When blood sugar spikes, insulin surges, and this process irritates the inner lining of blood vessels. Irritated vessel walls become sticky, and sticky vessel walls give platelets a place to cling, which increases the chance of clot formation. This is why the first meal of the day deserves special attention when it comes to circulation and clot prevention. A supportive morning meal focuses on calming inflammation rather than triggering it. Healthy fats play a powerful role here. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids help reduce platelet aggregation, meaning they make platelets less likely to clump together. Even small daily amounts over time can shift the balance towards smoother blood flow. Another powerful yet often overlooked food is garlic. Garlic contains natural compounds that support blood thinning and improve circulation. Including it regularly in the diet helps the blood remain less sticky and more fluid. Ginger also supports this process by improving circulation and reducing inflammation. Turmeric works in a similar way through curcumin, which calms inflammatory pathways linked to vascular damage. You do not need large quantities. Consistency matters far more than dose. Protein at breakfast is equally important because it stabilizes blood sugar levels. Stable blood sugar keeps stress hormones lower, and lower stress hormones mean less pressure on blood vessels. Eggs, yogurt, lentils, or other protein sources help prevent the sugar spikes that silently increase clot risk. Fiber also deserves mention because it helps regulate cholesterol levels. Excess cholesterol contributes to plaque buildup, which narrows arteries and slows blood flow. Slowed blood flow again creates conditions where clots thrive. What you avoid in the morning can be just as powerful as what you include. Processed meats, excessive salt, and refined carbohydrates all increase inflammation and blood pressure. Starting the day with these foods tells the circulatory system to brace itself rather than relax. Over time, people who shift toward anti-inflammatory morning meals often notice better digestion, fewer energy crashes, and more stable heart rhythms. These are outward signs of improved internal blood flow. Breakfast is not about perfection or strict rules. It is about sending a gentle daily message to your blood that it is safe to flow freely. When this message is repeated morning after morning, the inner environment of the body changes. Vessels stay more flexible, inflammation stays lower, and blood has fewer reasons to thicken or cling. Turning breakfast into a supportive habit rather than a harmful one becomes another quiet way to protect your heart, brain, and circulation every single day. As the morning moves forward and daily routines begin, one of the biggest hidden threats to healthy blood flow is something most people consider harmless: sitting still for too long. Especially in the early hours of the day, after sleep, the blood is already thicker and circulation is still adjusting when the body remains seated for extended periods. Pressure builds in the veins of the hips and legs. These large veins are responsible for returning blood to the heart, and when they are compressed by prolonged sitting, blood flow slows down dramatically. Slow-moving blood is the perfect environment for clot formation, particularly in the deep veins of the legs. This is why many clot-related events are linked to long periods of immobility, such as driving, working at a desk, or sitting in front of screens. The morning is a particularly sensitive time because the circulatory system is transitioning from rest to activity. Remaining still during this window interferes with that transition and allows blood to settle instead of circulate. Even people who exercise later in the day are not protected if their mornings are spent almost completely seated. The solution is not intense movement, but frequent position changes. Standing up regularly helps relieve pressure on the veins and allows blood to resume its upward flow. Small movements like shifting weight, stretching the legs, or taking a few steps activate muscles that push blood through the veins. These micro movements may seem insignificant, but they have a powerful cumulative effect on circulation. The calves in particular act like secondary hearts. Each contraction pushes blood upward against gravity. When they are inactive for long periods, this pumping action is lost. Breaking up sitting time every 20 to 30 minutes reactivates this natural pump and prevents blood from pooling. Over time, this habit reduces the risk of deep vein clots and supports overall venous health. It also lowers leg swelling and discomfort that many people accept as normal, but is actually a sign of poor circulation. Avoiding prolonged sitting in the morning also benefits the brain. Improved blood flow means more oxygen delivery, which supports focus, mood, and mental clarity. Many people report less morning fatigue when they move briefly and often instead of staying seated. This habit is especially important for older adults and anyone with a history of circulation issues, but it benefits everyone regardless of age. Modern life encourages stillness, but the human body was designed for frequent gentle movement. Honoring that design in the morning creates momentum that carries into the rest of the day. Blood stays more fluid, veins stay less stressed, and the conditions that allow clots to form are quietly reduced. One small movement at a time, the body is reminded that blood was made to travel, not to settle.